that's it.
Issues arise typically on the final game of the weekend here on Court A, contested very closely between Newcastle United and West Bromwich Albion. From what you've seen, Barris, give me your thoughts.
I think it's West Brom have had the better chances and have had probably the better phases of play. But Newcastle ball across the box. The referee initially gave a free kick to West Bromwich Albion because I think it was Ollie Crawshaw came in to tap the ball and met Marcus at full speed. But I think in all honesty, the correct decision was goal, because it was a ball that both players had the right to go for, and going forward shouldn't be penalised. And so it's 1-0 to Newcastle, but West Brom will feel they can get back into this.
Trying to make the court as big as possible. Dylan Kelso hugging this touchline on the right-hand side.
Both wingers for West Bromwich Albion, Dylan Kelso and Dave Lewis, have been high and wide, and have left Marcus and Chris basically playing as a 2 in the defensive half. But West Brom have had plenty of half chances, but no clear-cut ones yet.
Yeah. Jamie Harrison just instructing Ollie Crawshaw with a few bits of information as he attempts an effort, probably at goal. Audacious effort nonetheless, wide of the left-hand post, but with 4.5 minutes left to be played in this first half, it is Newcastle, as you've mentioned, that are up a goal to the good. That will be no doubt to the enjoyment of Aspire, who were incredibly frustrated by West Bromwich Albion in the game at 12:45. And what a game it proved to be. 2-2 it finished, but with the full context, the red card in the first minute for Matt Gilbert, penalty scored by John Bolden in the third, goal from Brad Bates in the 10th. It looked like Aspire were sailing their way to 3 points and that position at the top of the table as Ethan Fisher lines up for a shot.
Good save from Chris to give Newcastle the corner there. I thought if Ethan did connect, I think there was a gap between Chris and Marcus that he could have exploited, but he couldn't quite get clean contact on the ball.
Experimentation for Newcastle United, who take off Albie Morris. He's had a very bright game week 2. In his place, Sam Smith, who's right up there in the top goal scorer charts across the 23-24 PTC Therapeutics Premiership. Ollie Crawshaw, the responsibility of this corner kick into the box. Just ricochets in between the chairs of Crawshaw and Gordon. Marcus Harrison doing what he does and did so effectively against Aspire. He was pretty much the reason they were able to get that single point.
Good decision from the referee there, contact on the back of Marcus's chair.
Yeah, Peter Taylor, our central referee. Chris Gordon just trying to instruct Dylan Kelso where to best be placed. He attempted to squeeze himself between Armstrong and Fisher, but Fisher had different ideas. Trying to do it once again into the box. Guided goal bound from Kelso, but Fisher well positioned to prevent Dylan Kelso, who's had a number of opportunities in this game.
And 0-0 did have a massive run quite early on this side. Probably the biggest chance of the game, and his shot was slightly towards the centre of the goal instead of in this near corner. But he could have had a goal or two, and apart from the finishes, he'll be happy with his performance.
Yeah, beautiful touch and control by Dave Lewis. Out of play from Crawshaw. Dave Lewis, responsibility of this corner kick. Chris Gordon, the closest option. Dylan Kelso waiting at the back post. Can Chris guide it over to his number 27 winger? Probably the intent. Feints and lets it run across his chair. Over to Lewis. No real direction. Final 30 seconds. Newcastle United 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. This would be a fantastic finish to Newcastle's weekend, who started with that 4-2 defeat to Aspire. 1-1 draw with Leeds Chariots, 2-0 victory over Sevenoaks. So to take 7 points from a possible 12, considering that they've played Leeds, West Brom and Aspire, Jamie Harrison will probably be absolutely delighted with that. Still a lot of football left to be played though. Into additional time, Gordon with possession in the box, flicks it back to Lewis.
Could be a chance on the counter here for Newcastle.
Yeah, Sam Smith just couldn't adjust quickly enough.
Chris Gordon has time to get back into his box.
Yeah, that's good work from Marcus Harrison there, just prevented that outlet. And the referee blows his whistle for half-time. Newcastle United 1, West Bromwich Albion 0, just a single Ollie Crawshaw goal, proving the difference between the two teams. That was scored earlier in the half. But thank you to all that are joining myself and Barris. Apologies for any technical difficulties experienced. Hopefully you can see this game and hear us loud and clear. We will be back shortly for the second half. Hello everyone, welcome back to this second half in this fixture between Newcastle United and West Brom, currently separated by just a single goal scored by Ollie Crawshaw for the designated home team in Newcastle United. Looks like Newcastle will be unchanged from that finished the first half. Ethan Fisher, Lee Armstrong, Ollie Crawshaw and Sam Smith, Chris Gordon, Marcus Harrison, Dylan Kelsall and Dave Lewis for West Bromwich Albion. Once again joined on commentary by Barris Innell. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's been excited to see the second half after... Oh, that ball went flying, almost hit Dylan in the face.
Yeah, that could have ended very badly had it made contact, but fortunately for him and everyone else, it just goes wide of that mark. But yeah, West Brom very much have a game to chase. Such an incredible point secured against Aspire. They won't want to drop points here. They've got a mountain to climb almost, trailing by a goal. With just 19.5 minutes left to find that equaliser. Well trapped by Dylan Kelsall. Otherwise it was forcefully entering the West Bromwich Albion box, currently occupied by Marcus Harrison. Lee Armstrong trying to get past Chris Gordon.
And he's won a kicking. He's done well there, Lee Armstrong.
It's not often you see West Brom wearing their away strip. Obviously, the nature of their striped kits of both West Brom and Newcastle. One of them had to adorn their alternate strip, as Marcus Harrison going to try and force it over the line. Armstrong has to readjust. Pete Taylor had blown his whistle.
Is he giving a penalty?
Just trying to signal what has been given. He's having a conversation
he
with...
pointed to the spot, did he?
Jeff Lewis. Jeff Lewis indication looks like it was something other than a goal kick. But it looks like it's being placed on the penalty spot. And this is the lifeline that West Brom would have desperately wanted. Yet to have full confirmation as all officials gather in discussion. It is currently placed on the penalty spot.
I think it's going to be given as a penalty.
At the angle we're sitting, it's hard to understand why that decision was made. We certainly heard the contact. Who it was between, I don't know. The angle in which the live streams are filmed, you probably have a much better idea than myself or Barris. But discussion still ongoing between the three officials.
If West Brom do get a penalty from this and score, it's exactly what they need, because a point isn't what West Brom want at all. Being in a title race with Aspire, and Teesside, who won't drop many points.
Looks like
is it a card?
He had a red card out initially, probably shocked Lee Armstrong slightly. I wonder if he had left the court.
I think possibly. There was one of the arm movements from the referees when they were in conversation.
Yeah.
Looked like it may have been suggested.
Obviously, that's the difference between that and the resulting factor of Matt Gilbert's being sent off against Aspire. It has to be a clear goal-scoring opportunity. If you leave the court to prevent a clear goal-scoring opportunity, it is a red card. If it is not a clear goal-scoring opportunity, it is a yellow. So Chris Gordon now faced with Ethan Fisher.
And he puts the penalty away.
Yeah, beautifully taken by Chris Gordon. Little Ethan Fisher could do to prevent that going over the line. And that is the hard reset they needed to neutralise the scoreline. 1-1 as Jeff Lewis just has a discussion with Ollie Crawshaw as captain. Maybe just wants to understand that decision. West Brom will be happy with that. Now they need to build on that if they're to try and get 3 points.
Both teams do have plenty of time to try and find a winner in this game. because it's quite early on in the second half. Is it 15 minutes in, 15 minutes left?
15 and a half minutes. You've got to add to that. There's probably a minute and a half that the officials were in discussion. So still plenty of time. Likewise for Newcastle, they don't need to get to panic too much. I think they were in the driving seat for most of that first half. No reason why they can't break again. Fisher had such an impressive weekend as the Newcastle goalkeeper. Without question, within consideration to be featuring in the team of the weekend, if not a candidate for the standout player of the weekend. Obviously, at the conclusion of today's action, across the social media, you'll have all the information to vote for your standout player of the weekend, your unsung hero of the weekend. That's a recently introduced award that recognises players that don't necessarily get the headlines but are so crucial to their team's success. I can name a number that have contributed significantly across this weekend, and that doesn't have to be goals, assists, it can be clean sheets, it can be saves, it can be individual moments. Let's reference Marcus Harrison as one potential participant that could be in line for that. His performance in that Aspire draw inspired, as he has possession now, fired across the box. Dave Lewis.
Dave Lewis has got it on the end of that, I think. An amazing ball across the box from Marcus. And even if he just turns and drives at it with his front bumper, I think he could have got there maybe. But West Brom are starting to create some chances. And that was right on cue as well, talking about how Marcus had played so well in that Aspire game, which unfortunately I wasn't able to see. But he showed there again his quality with that ball across the box.
Yeah. Albie Morris comes on. The player leaving the court is captain Ollie Crawshaw. So a slight tactical shift for Jamie Harrison. Indirect free kick taken by Chris Gordon. Dylan Kelso trying to position himself in between the two Newcastle defenders. Square into the side of Kelso's chair. Out of play. Out of play. Albie Morris. Nice passes between Kelso and Harrison.
Think there'll be a West Brom free kick? Oh, okay.
2-on-1, I think. They just surrounded Ethan Fisher, Kelso and Harrison. Good ball from Ethan Fisher, picks out Albie Morris on the left-hand side. Harrison forces his way past the Newcastle number 5. So much space in the centre, no one wants to engage him. Back to Gordon. Nomad Knights looks like they've taken the lead against Hull and East Yorkshire on Court B. That's also live on the WFA's YouTube channel. That can be found as its own individually scheduled stream, as is this one with myself and Barris. Final 11 or so minutes left of the weekend. And a long wait for game week 3, Barris. I think it's at the start of March.
Oh, so it's an even longer wait than we had for this game week, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost 4 months, which is plenty of time for teams to look at what went well or what went badly this weekend and improve. And we should see, this weekend has already been brilliant, but weekend 3 can be even better.
Yeah, a lot of contact flying about, clashing of the metal bumpers. Ethan Fisher is awarded a yellow card as a result of that excessive force used on the West Bromwich Albion players. Direct free kick down to Dave Lewis, and that's complacent from them two. Signs of frustration from both Gordon and Lewis, as he just doesn't get the timing to connect with that ball. 10 minutes to go. They want to start to pick their passes and opportunities, otherwise that clock is going to continue to dwindle down. Potential two, once again, Dave Lewis and Chris Gordon driving onto that ball. Fisher needs to be careful of his placement to Morris as well. A lot of players just drawn into the same ball at the same time. Gordon, keeper to keeper.
Which way is that to West Brom, is it? That was one where it seemed like a 2-on-2 almost. But West Brom will be happy to have this free kick too.
Beautifully controlled by Marcus Harrison. Chris Gordon in support, flicked back to his captain, but Sam Smith there to collect. Two European champions battling with one another, having both been present in that successful for Nations Cup in 2019. No doubt that's at the forefront of Sam Smith's intentions and ambition, is to break back into that England team and adorn that shirt of the three lions once more. Didn't quite get the connection to control that. Touch from Lee Armstrong puts Fisher under some pressure.
Good touch from Marcus to take it into the corner. And is that a corner kick, is it?
Looks so. Just over 7 minutes left to be played, plus any additional time that has been added up across this second half. Dylan Kelsall, fairly quiet in the last 5-10 minutes, will want to impart his presence on the game as he finds Chris Gordon in the centre, who tries to attempt pick off front bumper to squeeze it through the Newcastle defenders. Good strong work from Lee Armstrong. The referee had blown his whistle.
I think excessive force from Lee Armstrong, was it?
Yeah,
I didn't think there was much in it.
No, it's one of those, isn't it? I would have probably allowed play to continue, but I'm in no way a match official. I felt that he'd done well to get the ball. Good control into the box. Didn't quite have the power.
He's going to try and drive this in.
Good work from Fisher. Must be so hard to defend them, certainly against Marcus. Once again, Harrison trying to force it over the line.
There might have been a bigger gap in the near post for him there.
Potentially, they won't care how they get a goal. They'll just want one to help them secure this 3 points. Similar to that of the Aspire game, they don't have to win pretty, they just have to win. Substitution. For Newcastle United, captain Ollie Crawshaw comes back onto the court. Sam Smith comes off.
He's gone to find Dave Lewis at the back post. He just couldn't quite get his chair around it enough to get the shot off there for the...
Good work from Crawshaw. No doubt Chris Gordon wanted to guide that over to Dave Lewis on the right hand.
He's done well to come away with it here and beat Chris Gordon there.
Flicked by Crawshaw to Fisher, and that's a really unfortunate own goal from Marcus Harrison. Great work from Ollie Crawshaw initially, and then the miscommunication between Gordon and Marcus Harrison. Very dangerous pick-off anyway from Marcus Harrison, that deep in the defensive box of West Brom. And now with just over 4 minutes left to be played, Newcastle once again take a goal advantage. Are probably favourites to secure the 3 points.
Yeah, you'd think from this point they will be able to see out a win, but as we saw last season with West Brom, they can score late goals, as we saw in that 4-3 against Leeds last year. But I think Marcus will be disappointed with the way he's scored their own goal.
Yeah.
Because it's one of them, he didn't need to get a touch on it. I think Chris Gordon had it covered and Marcus's touch just ended up playing it past him and into the net.
I think we need to give full credit to Newcastle United. They haven't backed off Newcastle United. They've had to absorb a lot of pressure. Almost an inspired substitution from Jamie Harrison. He reintroduced Ollie Crawshaw to the action. He played such a pivotal role in that goal. Dave Lewis there with an effort.
Big chance as well. It was a similar effort to Dylan Castle's in the first half. The near post was open and probably a big chance to score, but he just couldn't find it and shot too central. But Marcus has forced it past them. But
desperately trying to get a goal to right that wrong of that own goal.
Clock. It take to ride and flick. Oh, good covering from Dave Lewis there.
Yeah, well played by Lee Crawshaw likewise. Substitution will be made. Interesting to see who it's for. Albie Morris, the player leaving the court. Sam Smith coming back on. Just winding down the clock. Now to just put that bit of experience that Sam Smith has. But we'll give full credit to Albie Morris for a fantastic weekend overall. Heavy contact from Dave Lewis. Surely Pete Taylor could continue his actions of awarding a yellow card. Just told by Pete Taylor to just calm down a little bit. They must be incredibly frustrated. Not necessarily the Sunday they would have wanted, West Brom. Gordon, final minute of the regulation 20. Harrison squeezes it down. Yeah, good football. Back to Dave Lewis. Crucial touch from Ollie Crawshaw.
Can they get a late equaliser here? Great interception from Ethan Fisher there.
Gordon. Down to Dylan Kelsall, across the box, the side of Ethan Fisher's chair. 2-on-1 in favour of Newcastle United. That's exactly what they'll want, as we've now creeped into additional time. What a huge 3 points this will be for Jamie Harrison's side. Sam Smith just taking his time. Doesn't want to rush anything. Protect this 3 points at all costs. Just rolls between the chairs of Gordon. Surely a 2-on-1. It's going to be a late rally, as I said. May have 30 seconds to a minute added on due to that penalty. It was awarded to West Bromwich Albion. This one goes in the favour of Newcastle United. Surely the last passage of play of the weekend. Just playing it in the corner. That's a very risky move. No doubt his intention was just play it out of the court. Presented Chris Gordon with a very credible opportunity, certainly to get it down the court. I think there was enough Newcastle players there to cover the goal in its entirety. Pete Taylor looks at his whistle.
He's about to blow it, I think.
And absolutely he does. Newcastle United 2, West Bromwich Albion 1, and following a fantastic point against Aspire, the four-time champions slip up against a very good Newcastle United side.
Yeah, Newcastle United's performance was very good. They, even after the penalty, you'd have thought, you know, just hold on to what you've got. But they kept pushing and put a lot of pressure on West Brom and got a goal that arguably they did deserve. And yeah, it was a very good performance from Newcastle. I think West Brom will be disappointed. Their only goal in the game was a penalty. I don't think they were bad, and they had some chances that they should have taken. But I think it's a well-deserved 3 points for Newcastle.
No, I agree, and a great conclusion to game week 2 of the 2023-24 PTC Therapeutics Premiership here at the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. Next up in the National League, we've got a fair wait until the next round of action, the 2nd and 3rd of March 2024. Hope you can join us for that one. Thank you from myself and my good friend Barris Innell. We'll see you all shortly.
Thank you. Goodbye.